What's up, everyone? Nate Sarantino here, back with another episode of the Guided Spirits podcast. And today I want to talk to you about why you need to speed up and slow down and what that means. So, to begin, let me talk about what it means. So, when you're living life, you're going to be going at a faster and slower rate. And this is due to the lot of rhythm where things are going to go up and things are going to go down, and you're going to have times where you feel like time is going by really fast. You have weeks that fly by like the blink of an eye, and then you have other weeks that feel like they're going really slow. And if you try to take on the slow weeks and you just get as much done as you possibly can, you're gonna feel like you are exhausted after the end of like a month of trying to go fast through it all. Because when time feels like it's slowing down, you are gonna get affected by that race, by like trying to go harder and harder. And this personally happens to me quite a bit because of how much I love what I'm doing. I overdo it all the time. And for instance, I was doing a lot of skateboarding and scootering lately, and I would jump staircases and I'd hit some rails and just like do a bunch of tricks, and it was like, a 5-foot drop and you jump like 6 or 7 feet forward, and if you don't land it and you have to bail, the pressure on my knees and on my body was getting to me. And when I played hockey a couple weeks ago on a Monday night, I got home and I couldn't walk, and I was like, what the heck? And my knee was swollen. I like definitely pinched a nerve in my hip, and it was really bad. And I was on crutches for about a week and a half, and it forced me to slow down. And by forcing me to slow down just my walking, it made me realize how fast I was actually going. Like, even on crutches, I'm like flying. Like, it was my first time ever using crutches in my life, and I'm like trying to pass people like walking on a walkway while I'm using crutches, and I'm like, why am I going so fast? Like, I always feel like I'm in a rush because I always know what I want to do next. Like, I'm always like, oh, I got this done, all right, let's go on to the next thing, and I just keep banging out things on my list, and I just build momentum, and I just can't stop myself. And all of a sudden you hit something like this injury, and I like realized like I had to take a break from the gym, and now I just got back in this past week, and it really is like really tough. Like, you have to learn that like you have to slow down, you have to let your body chill once in a while. Like, you can't always be going full force. And one of the best examples I have for this is from my old boss, Adrian, at the fish market. Like, this man would work like all summer from like Memorial Day weekend to like a couple weeks after Labor Day weekend, a few weeks, and he would literally work every single day except like one day. He would get one day off that for like 130 days, 140 days, and he would work like during like late June to like we'll say beginning of September. He would work close to 12, probably like close to 15-hour days. And like, pulling 15-hour days consecutively for that long, it was like remarkable to see, but you could see how much it affected his health and how it was like really tough for him. And he got to take the whole winter off. And that's a great example of like this rhythm and like the whole pendulum effect in like a really big scheme. You work hard as fuck for 140 days. Excuse my language. I'm trying not to swear anymore on the podcast. You work hard for 140 days, and then you go to work, and then you go on vacation for like couple, you do whatever you want for the next, like, 6 months, 8 months, and then you work for, like, those 4 months, and you just work as hard as you can, and you pull those days, but is it worth it? It's like, that's like the sprint versus, like, the marathon, and, like, you basically are like, you can run a marathon and, like, get a good time by pacing yourself, or you can run a sprint and do it really fast, but then you have to take a break after. And, like, that's why when I listen to music by Nipsey Hussle, and his movement was the marathon, and when I figured out, I often need to sleep more. Like, I catch myself, like, going, like, a long period of time without sleep. A few days ago, I went 40 hours, and it was, like, crazy. Like, I just kept working, and it was just, like, I'm just like, damn, I gotta sleep. Like, someone tell me to sleep once in a while, and I have to tell myself to sleep. But I don't get tired, and that's, like, the thing. Like, you have to learn to slow yourself down once in a while, and, like, I really do catch myself this building momentum, and I just keep going, and that's, like, exactly what he would say. Like, he would take the summer as, like, you're going uphill for the first half of the summer, and you look at the big picture, and then you go downhill, and once you're going downhill, you just have that momentum bringing you downhill, and you don't need to think about it anymore. He's just going. Like, imagine you're in a car, and you speed up to 160 miles an hour, and then you just let off the gas, and you just coast. Well, you're going to be coasting for, like, 10 miles, maybe. I don't know for sure. I didn't do the math behind that. But, like, you're going to be coasting for a while. And the bottom line here is you got to learn when to, like, go up and when to go down. And if you have this pendulum effect going the right way, you're going to be able to get a lot more done in a longer period of time that doesn't hurt your body or your mind as much. And the whole thing about, like, protecting your body, longevity, living a long life, like, you can serve your purpose and you can do everything you're supposed to be doing, but if it's costing you your mental health and how you feel, for him, I can imagine how he felt by the end of the summer. He was probably exhausted, like, to the exhaustion, like, max. And I literally am, like, thinking, I would never want that for myself, and I wouldn't even want that for him, and I feel bad for him. And when you work that hard, it plays a toll on you. And that's why, for me, even in college, the 40 hours I just pulled the other day, I have to slow down, and, like, I have to learn how to ride these waves. And it's all about surfing. And, like, you can use momentum to bring you further, but if you use the momentum in the right way, you can just ride the wave perfectly. And it's this, like, you gotta find a really good smooth spot where you're not, like, going too fast, but you're not going too slow. You're getting a lot done, and like I said, it's that pace, it's that marathon, and it's all about riding the ups and downs, which I had a podcast on, but knowing when to slow down and knowing when to speed up, knowing when you have, like, a lot of things coming up, and you're like, all right, I gotta, like, get going, like, it's time to grind for a little bit. Like, I have finals coming up in, not this week, next week, and I'm, like, preparing by recording all these podcast episodes now, and it's Saturday. I'm getting ready for these next couple weeks, preparing for the future by getting myself in the zone. Like, I mentally prepare, and then I physically prepare, and I make sure I have all the food I need. I have water. I have everything I need that I have to be ready for my examinations and ready for what life is going to throw at me, because you don't know what other curveballs are going to come along with the challenges you already know you have to face. So that's the part about speeding up. It's like, you have to be prepared, and preparation is key. And without preparation, you really are going to lose opportunity, because opportunity will come knocking to your door, and if you can't answer that door because you don't have the right key, it's going to be a very disappointing day. And I know that feeling, and I wish it on nobody, because it really does suck. And with that, focus on being yourself and learning how to move with the movements of life. You're gonna find where your ups are, you're gonna find where your downs are, and you gotta use those experiences of ups and downs to make the future ones better. And when you start understanding your ups and downs, you're going to be able to control them. And if you can control when you have ups and when you have downs, and you can use the control to make life better and worse at certain points, well, it's going to help you have either A, really tough winters, or B, really fun summers, or you're going to be able to move a little bit and a little bit and not do the whole thing at once. Well, have a great rest of your day, and thank you for listening.